Ciao amici! Hello my friends! My name is Noor and I am one of the organizers of the Ottawa Italian Week Festival. We are so happy you can join us today for the reading of Strega Nona's Magic Lessons. If you have any question, please click on the chat or the Q&A at the bottom of the screen, type it, and we will respond to it at the end of the reading. Today's reader is Erica Lauter from the Dante Alighieri Society in Ottawa. With permission from Simon & Schuster Publishing, here is Erica.
Hi everybody, I'm Erica. I'm very excited to be reading to you Strega Nona's Magic Lessons. My mom used to read Strega Nona to me when I was young, so I'm really excited that I get to share the story with you. So this is Strega Nona's Magic Lessons. Bambolona, the baker's daughter, was angry. Every day, summer, fall, winter, and spring, she had to get up before the sun to bake the bread. Then, piling the loaves on her head, she went to deliver them. But her work wasn't finished. Rushing back to the bakery, she had to mix the flour and salt and water and yeast and set the dough to rise for tomorrow's bread. Don't forget, her father the baker would say, to make the cookies and bake the cakes. And remember, Bambolona, to clean up everything spick and span. I'm going now to see my friends. And off he would go and sit in the square of the little town in Calabria. One day, Bambolona said, "Papa, there's too much work to do. I need some help." "Get up earlier," her father said. "But I get up now before the sun," said Bambolona, "and I'm the last one in town to go to bed." "That's the way things are," her father said, and he went out the door on his way to the square. "And don't forget," he called back, "you have a wedding cake to bake." That did it. Bambolona dusted the flour from her hands and took off her apron. "I'm going to change the way things are," she said. "I'll go see Strega Nona. She's so wise, she'll help me." "I think I know how to help you," Strega Nona said, after hearing Bambolona's sad tale. "So many people come to me with their troubles. I could certainly use some help. Why not stay with me, and I will teach you my magic." "Oh, Strega Nona," said Bambolona, "thank you." "We'll start today," said Strega Nona. Now, Big Anthony, who worked around the house and in the garden for Strega Nona, was listening. He was always listening to what other people were talking about instead of working. "Strega Nona," he shouted, running into the house. "Me too! Teach me your magic too!" "Oh, Anthony," Strega Nona said with a smile, "I can't do that. Why don't you go and milk the goat?" Now Big Anthony was the one angry. "I'll show Strega Nona," he muttered. "I'll just go and work for the baker, now that Bambolona has left." And down the hill Big Anthony ran. The baker hired him on the spot. "The first thing you do is mix the dough," the baker told Big Anthony. "You put in this much flour, this much salt, this much water, and this much yeast." He looked hard at Big Anthony's smiling face. "Do you understand? The yeast makes the dough rise. Now mix it right away, and by the time I get back at 6 o'clock, the dough will be ready to turn into loaves." "Si, signore." "Yes, sir," Big Anthony said, and the baker walked out the door and towards the square. "I'll just look at everything first," said Big Anthony, poking around. "Cookies!" He ate one, and then another. "Cakes!" He ate one, and then another. Big Anthony ate them all. In fact, he was still eating when the clock in the square struck 4. "Mamma mia," said Big Anthony, "I forgot to mix the dough. It won't rise in time." "Ah, I know. The yeast makes the dough rise. I'll just put in a lot more of that, and the dough will rise much faster." "I'll still have time for a nap," he said when he got through. He sat down and he promptly fell asleep. What a sight the baker saw when he returned. "Out!" shouted the baker. "What's the matter, Big Anthony?" asked Signora Rosa. The baker threw me out. Now I have no job, he answered, and it's Strega Nonna's fault. I would never have left her house if she had let me learn to be a strega. Silly goose, said Signora Rosa. Whoever heard of a man being a strega? And all of a sudden, Big Anthony's eyes lit up, and off he ran. To cure a headache, you must first fill the bowl with water, Strega Nonna was telling Bambolona. Next, you add a few drops of olive oil, and then you say these magic words. Knock, knock, knock. Strega Nonna went to the door. Oh, Strega Nonna, said a tall girl standing there. All my life I've wanted to learn your magic. Will you teach me, please? Santo cielo, dear me, said Strega Nonna. What is your name, my girl? Antonia, said the girl. And why do you want to learn my magic, Antonia? Strega Nonna asked. Oh, so I can help people, said Antonia. Ever since I was a little girl, I've wanted to become a strega. Ah, in that case, said Strega Nonna, come right in. This is Bambolona. She's learning my magic too. Bambolona stared at Antonia and then at Strega Nonna. How nice, 2 girls to teach, Strega Nonna said. She smiled at Bambolona and then she began. To learn my magic and practice it well, she said, you must learn to see and not to see. You must learn to remember and to forget, to be still and to be busy. But mostly, you must be faithful to your work. Do you understand, my dears? Si, yes, Strega Nonna, said Bambolona. No, said Antonia. When are we going to learn how to do magic things? In time, said Strega Nonna. Now, let's practice some of the magic words. Repeat in the right order after me. Soon, Bambolona had memorized them all by heart, but Antonia kept mixing them up. Bambolona learned the cure for headaches, but Antonia didn't. Bambolona learned how to make love potions. Antonia didn't. Bambolona learned how to get rid of warts, but Antonia didn't. Bambolona, said Strega Nonna, I think you are ready now to learn more powerful magic. This is a special book. It's very ancient and contains many magic secrets. Tomorrow we will begin with it. Oh, grazie, Strega Nonna, said Bambolona. Me too, Strega Nonna? Asked Antonia. Not yet, Antonia, said Strega Nonna. You have other things to learn. That night, while everyone slept, Antonia crept into Strega Nonna's house. Bambolona thinks she's so smart, said Antonia. I'll just read that book tonight, and tomorrow I'll surprise her and Strega Nonna. The next morning, Antonia was looking very tired. Antonia, said Strega Nonna, watch and listen. Come, Bambolona, we will start. Wait, shouted Antonia. I have a surprise. I know some real magic. Watch me turn that iron kettle into a gold one. Are you sure, Antonia? Said Strega Nonna, frowning. Yes, oh yes, said Antonia, beginning to mutter some strange-sounding words. But she stopped. Wait, I remember now. She began again. Be careful, Antonia, warned Bambolona. Magic can't be fooled with. I've got it now, said Antonia. She muttered more words. Suddenly, there was a bright flash, some smelly smoke, and the iron kettle was still there. But Strega Nonna wasn't. Instead, where Strega Nonna had been standing was a nice, fat toad. Now see what you've done, cried Bambolona. Oh no, shouted Antonia. Oh, help, somebody. Save Strega Nonna. What have I done? Strega Nonna warned you to be careful with magic. Now she's gone forever, Bambolona said. Strega Nonna, wept Antonia, picking up the toad. Forgive me, forgive me. Please, Bambolona, you're so clever, you're so smart. Please change your back again. I promise I'll never play with magic again. But I can't change that toad into Strega Nona, said Bambolona. But I can change Antonia into Big Anthony. Bambolona pulled off Antonia's kerchief, and sure enough, there was Big Anthony. Oh, I'll never learn, howled Big Anthony. I'll never learn. Oh, Strega Nona, Strega Nona, what have I done to you? Perhaps, said Bambolona, if you really promise to never ever play with magic again, that will bring Strega Nona back. Do you really think that would work? Said Big Anthony, sobbing. It's worth a try, said Bambolona. Big Anthony put down the toad. He closed his eyes tight. He put his hand over his heart. I promise, I really promise, that as long as I live, I will never play with magic again. Just please bring Strega Nona back. There was another bright flash, some smelly smoke, and presto, Strega Nona was back. Where am I? Said Strega Nona. Oh, I'm in my little house. Whatever happened to me? Oh, hello, Bambolona. And why, Big Anthony, what are you doing here? Where's sweet Antonia? Tell her, Big Anthony, said Bambolona. Oh, Strega Nona, said Big Anthony, falling to his knees. He told Strega Nona what he had done, and he was so busy crying and talking that he didn't see the nice fat toad hopping past him out the door. And so, Strega Nona, please, he said, if you take me back, I promise I'll be good. I'll do all my chores, and I'll never play with magic again. All right, Anthony, said Strega Nona, smiling. But before you go back to work, change your clothes. You're wearing Signora Rosa's nicest dress. The end. I hope you guys liked the story. And if you have any questions, you can just let me know in the chat below. And look, it's Fizzle. It's Fizzle from the last book. He ended up getting the magic ring, and now he's a cute puppy.
Oh, how cute. I love. Thank you, Erica. That was a nice story.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Tell her your name.
Tell me name.
Tell her your name.
Phoebe and Theo.
Phoebe and Theo, did you like the story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
The froggy.
The froggy? Yeah. Was there a froggy?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it doing?
Mommy.
Oh, you being shy now? Oh, okay. Theo, why don't you say bye-bye then?
Bye.
Bye, Theo.
Bye.
Bye, Phoebe. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye, Julia. We've got Antonia here who was with us a few days ago, and he said he really liked the story too. Antonia, do you have any question for Erica?
Antonia, do you have any questions?
No.
Did you like the story?
Do you have any questions?
No.
No, he said no.
No. Was your cousin watching with you like he did last time?
No.
Evan, no, he wasn't watching today.
No problem. He can rewatch it on YouTube. We'll post it if later today or tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, thank you. We've been enjoying them.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much. We hope to bring it back if you guys like it for next year's festival.
Yeah, this was a really good idea.
Awesome. Glad you liked it. Thank you so much for supporting us. We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
So we have another question from Marisa. She says, was Strega Nona toad for real?
It's hard to say for sure, but I think Strega Nona is a very wise witch. And if you look at this picture here, you can see that While Big Anthony was crying about Strega Nona going missing, she's actually hiding in the background. So I think maybe that Strega Nona played a prank on Big Anthony to teach him a lesson about playing with dangerous magic.
Yeah, I agree. Good question, Marisa. We have another question. Where did Big Anthony get this dress from? How did he take it from Rosa?
Oh, so if we go back in the story, you can see when Big Anthony was talking to Signora Rosa, you can see she's washing the dress right there. And then she gave him the idea because she said only women can be stregas. So he thought, oh, I'll just take this dress, dress up like a woman. See, he's running away with the dress right there.
Cinzia is asking, how old is Bambolona?
How old is Bambolona? I'm not sure. She looks like she's a young woman. Maybe she's 18 because she's running this whole bakery by herself, using the oven by herself, and she's making bread by herself. So, yeah.
So, do you think she's older than Big Anthony?
I don't know. Maybe Big Anthony's taller, so maybe he's older. But she's definitely more mature than Big Anthony because Big Anthony couldn't even make the bread.
No. And how did Big Anthony make a mess out of the bread?
He put in so much yeast and the bread grew and grew and grew and grew. And then there's so much bread got way too big.
No, not a good idea.
Theo, I think, had a question.
Okay.
Theo, what was your question? Remember?
What question?
I think you had a question. You wanted to know what the toad's name was. You asked them. Quick.
What's the toad's name was?
The toad's name? I think his name was Mr. Warts. Is that a silly name?
Uh-huh.
Thank you for your question, Theo.
Mommy, can I have some salami?
I think we all want dinner now, I suppose. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today and for all the readings we've had this week during Italian Week Online. We appreciate your support. Let us know your feedback on our website, and we hope to bring the series back to you next year, hopefully in person on Preston Street, fingers crossed. I want to thank Erica for today's reading. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And for making Fiesel reappear again. That was really cute. Thank you to the Dante Alighieri Society for teaming up with us on these readings. Hope to work with you again next year. Thank you to Simon & Schuster Publishing for allowing us to do these readings and present them online. So from our house to yours, thank you so much and see you next year. Ciao, ciao.